Hello there, this is Dr. Birch, and this is the MFT Intern Registration Assistance video. So I am your instructor for Practicum 3. We don't communicate a lot directly through this, and as a result of that, I thought it would be helpful for you to just go through a couple of quick things. A lot of this might be things you already know. They might be self-explanatory, but having gone through the MFT Intern Registration process myself last year, I've learned just a couple of tricks and things that I think might help speed you up a little bit. So let's just go through this process real quickly and help you figure out what's needed. I moved from Utah, and in order to get licensed here, I've got to take a bunch of classes that I didn't have in my master's program, psychopharmacology and whatnot. And so I figured in the interim I was eligible to be an MFT intern, so I went ahead and registered for that. So let's just go through a couple of things here. The BBS website has changed recently, but it's still pretty self-explanatory, bbs.ca.gov. We go to Applicants, MFT Intern. And a couple of things that might be helpful for you. You're going to want to click on here fairly often. That tells you how long it's currently taking to process applications. You can see here that they are currently processing MFT intern applications that were submitted on September 20th. That's pretty good. That's like 3-week turnaround. Unfortunately, it's taking them 4 months to do MFT examination eligibility applications. I'm not clear on why that takes so long, but hey, part of it's staffing. So at any rate, so if you go to Applicants, MFT Intern, you will find the application somewhere here. I've changed this all, so I'm not seeing it right offhand. Let's see here. Okay, let's go to navigating the process, MFT intern registration process. So it's pretty self-explanatory. We'll just go through a couple things. If you look at the actual application, it's pretty extensive in some ways, but I would use this checklist. I used it to report on the current status on various things, such as waiting for my transcripts to come, waiting for this form I had to get from my program because I was an out-of-state degree. Just a couple of things real quick. Photograph. Go to Sam's Club or Costco. You can get a passport photo taken for like $15. That's probably the fastest place to do it. Fingerprints. You can Google live scan. It's sort of a franchise sort of thing where the government allows different organizations to apply for credentialing as an official fingerprinter, and they have the equipment and so forth. A lot of banks do it, a lot of little stores and check cashing places, and I found a private person who just goes around doing it. So if you Google live scan and then the city that you live in, you should be able to find somewhere pretty quickly on that. Your transcripts, one of the issues that we have here is that your degree doesn't post for a couple of weeks after you graduate, but if you can obtain a transcript that lists that you've completed all the graduation requirements and a letter from the department stating that you completed the requirements, you can take your chances on that and submit that. The BBS is very strict about not liking, you can't, like in that examination eligibility, if I submitted my application to take the licensure exam, knowing it was going to take 4 months and saying, well, yeah, I'm still taking this class and I'll be done with it, then they will they've been known to just reject that and say you have to resubmit once you're done, which I think is really stupid. But that's the way it is. It's taken them 4 months to do it, but with yours are only 3 weeks. So they're going to be pretty strict on that. They want the transcript to show that your degree has posted. But if you're really anxious to get moving, you could take your chances and submit a transcript that shows that you've taken all the courses and a letter from the department stating that you've completed the requirements and that you will be graduating, but that your degree has not posted. You could submit that, and then if they call you or email you and say, we got your application here, you know, there's a deficiency, then maybe you can just send them the transcript, which you may have received by then, that does show that the degree is posted, but you're taking your chances on that. So I think that's pretty much all there is. The application, just to go through a few things here, you'll fill out this application, and you'll fill this out. Let's see. And you should be able to just go down, because of having graduated from Chicago School, all of these should be yes. Yes, we do that. Yes, you had no less than 12 semester units of MFT issues. Yes, you had 6 semesters of practicum. Yes, you had 150 hours. So in other words, our program is designed specifically so that you can go down and say yes to all these, but I encourage you to read them and make sure you verify that in your own mind. This form here, let's see, how is that different from this? This has changed since I did it a little bit. Oh, this would be for you because you began study before August 1st. So Form B is for those who've started after that. There's different requirements. As you can see, that's a lot longer. The live scan, fingerprinting. Let's see here. So here's a website for you to go to just search more directly for live scan fingerprint locations. They're all over the place. There's hundreds of them. You'll go and get your fingerprints and fill that form out. This form is the form you'll take with you when you go to get your fingerprints, and you'll fill out the top part, and then they'll sign it and make a copy of it and whatnot. And I think you need 3 copies of that. And you need to read, make sure you understand that you're now a mandatory reporter as per your MFT intern status. If you were as a trainee, but it's just a reminder. So basically fill all that out and send it in, and good luck, and hopefully it took mine 2 months to get processed. Yours are looking like they're only taking 3 weeks, so it's a good time of year to be submitting. So I'm available for any discussion you'd like to have about that. Also, you're going to want to, now that you're going to have that intern registration, you're going to be eligible to work. A couple of clarifications on that. You may work in a private practice setting. As a trainee, you're not allowed to work in a private practice setting. As a MFT intern, you are allowed to work in a private practice setting. However, there's some conditions that have to be met. A, the private practice has to be owned by someone other than you. B, you have to be employed. You have to receive a W-2. You have to be under the direct supervision of the staff of the private practice. You cannot be a 1099 employee or a 1099 contract worker. You have to be receiving supervision from an individual who is mostly or fully employed by that organization. You cannot be supervised by a contract supervisor. And the intent of all that is that they basically don't want you to be in private practice till you're licensed. They don't want you to go out and start a corporation and then hire a 1099 supervisor to be your, quote, supervisor, and then be in private practice. They also don't want you to go into a partnership with somebody and start a business and have, be a part owner in that. And so they're fairly restrictive about that. But the good news is you can work in private practice settings. There are a lot of private practice folks that like having interns. And so that's an option for you now that you're going to be an MFT intern. Not that it's too early to start building up the elements of what is a private practice. If your goal is to be in private practice eventually, then I strongly encourage you to view this as a learning opportunity and to offer to the owner of the practice to do additional things, either for pay or for not, where you get involved in helping to run the business so that you can be familiar with how those things go. For example, handling insurance claims or hiring people or managing a billing and collections process. Not that you necessarily want to end up doing that, but to be available to be helpful to the practice in whatever way you can. You'll learn the ropes. And I also strongly encourage you to get a copy of a couple of books that you should be reading during your internship. Let's see, how do I get that to come up? So let's see. So 3 books that I use, and that I strongly recommend. The first one would be Private Practice. What is the name of that? Oh, look, a reality show about being in private practice. I've never heard of that show. We'll have to check that out. Let's see, I think her name is Grodsky or something like that. There it is. Building Your Ideal Private Practice, a guide for therapists and other healing professionals, Lynn Grodsky. It's an excellent starting resource, nuts and bolts. The next one I would encourage you to look at is something along these lines. Casey Truffaut, Be a Wealthy Therapist. Finally, you can make a living making a difference. And the title might be off-putting because you think, well, I don't want to be wealthy. I'm just here to help people. Well, but you want to be abundant. You don't want to constantly be worrying about paying your bills, and you don't want to build your personal budget around a certain caseload and then find out that,